This episode is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor by Spotify, let me fill you in. So, Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. You can record and edit your podcast straight from your computer or your phone, whichever works for you. And it's as simple as downloading the Anchor app or going to anchor.fm. And when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. And the best part about Anchor is that it's 100% free. It's pretty much the ultimate podcast tool at the moment, and honestly, I haven't seen it getting enough attention. We use Anchor for this very podcast, and it has made things 10 times easier because, like I said, it's literally everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Again, go to anchor.fm or download the Anchor app to get started.
What's up, guys? You're listening to the Lucid podcast, and today we're going to be talking about cursed items, objects, just basically curses, and them occupying something inorganic. So first thing we're going to be talking about, like I said, items, kind of dolls, toys, things like that, and then paintings. So without further ado, I guess we'll get right into it. So a couple items that are pretty notable and pretty well known are things like the Hope Diamond, the Divot Box. I'm trying to think of the pronunciation. Is it the Basana? That's all right.
Bassano vase? Is that what you're talking about?
Basana. Okay, yeah. The Bassano vase and these lamb statues, right? So they all kind of range from what the effects are and whatnot, but to explain what a curse is a little bit, I guess it's essentially like a spell that inflicts something, whether that's like death, misfortune. It usually connotates something negative.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, the Hope Diamond, which that could be the first thing we talk about here. So, the Hope Diamond, it's a massive blue diamond, I believe. I can't remember where it came from, but it's said to be like a cursed gemstone, and everyone that's been in possession of it has died like an untimely death and none of them have really been explainable. Like, pretty much just someone gets a hold of this and then they die. Yeah, it's like a really beautiful diamond, really big, and I think there's even been royalty that have had it at certain points, and I mean, it's been pretty indiscriminate on who it does in. It could probably be anyone. It's like super cursed, I guess. Pretty much no one escapes it. And that could you imagine getting that as a gift? Oh yeah, here.
Oh my god.
Here's this like priceless diamond that you couldn't even get a price for it, so it's like invaluable. And they're just giving it to you, and you're like, oh my gosh, why are you giving this to me? Is this real? And they're like, oh yeah. And they're like,
oh yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
It'll kill you, but it's real.
And then everything, you just start seeing shadows in your periphery all the fucking time. And you're like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, the last thing you see, I guess, is that diamond dropping off the table onto the floor, and just you're seeing your reflection in it. Like, terrifying.
It's a big diamond too. Like, I looked up pictures of it. Like, it looks like something a woman would wear, like, just, I don't know, just as like jewelry or something you would just give to a woman. Like, hey, maybe you would like this, but yeah, it kills people. So
yeah, let's say this: it's big enough that it could be like a movie prop. Like something that, like an over-the-top movie that makes rich people just like super obnoxious, where you know what I mean? Like they fucking play into the rich preppy shit, like way overboard, and then they have giant diamonds the size of the Hope Diamond. Like it's a very big diamond, so it's well sought after. So I believe it's in a museum now.
That's where a lot of these cursed things end up a lot of the time. Is it a genuine diamond?
I believe it's in a museum. Yeah, I mean, it's a priceless diamond.
That's crazy. Too bad no one wants it.
I think, so I believe the last person who owned the Hope Diamond was Princess Diana. And, everyone knows who Princess Diana is pretty much. and everyone knows how she died, and like it's still like a big deal. I feel like, because I mean, I hear people make reference to it and shit, and that the only reason I know who she is because people make reference to it and shit, like in regular day, like everyday media, like shit like The Office and.
I'm not familiar with how she died. How did she die?
I mean, that, just the fact that she did die. I'm not sure how she died either, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
You know what? I'll look that up though.
And she was the last owner of it?
Yeah, I believe she
Hmm.
was the last owner of it before it got put in the museum. So she died, and she might not have been the last owner, but she was a owner of it. So yeah, what's this guy gonna die? A car crash.
So it was an accident. So, I mean, you could say that Diamond had something to do with that.
Yeah, she died. Yeah, she died in the car accident. You know, I don't know if there's conspiracy theories that it was the Hope Diamond, or
There
I
probably
don't know.
is.
Yeah, I don't know like too much. If that's the conspiracy. Again, I'm not sure if that's true or not that she did own it, but I thought I heard somewhere that she did.
I think she's the one who has it. At least it looks like it in these pictures. Well, at least had it at one point.
Yeah, I believe she had it. But you saw pictures of her having it.
It looks like it. I don't know if it's actually it, but like when I typed in Princess Diana Hope Diamond, it came up with a bunch of pictures of her wearing this blue diamond on her neck.
Yeah, dude, the Hope Diamond is a blue diamond.
Yeah, I think that I'm pretty
Super
sure that's
blue.
the one, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
So it
super
probably is
blue.
the one,
It's like
which
a
is like,
beautiful blue.
yeah, it's actually, a pretty good looking diamond. It's a shame it's a serial killer.
I wish I knew. I wish we knew more about the history of it. To be honest with you, because it's super cool, but like it's so beautiful, but it's so dark.
Yeah, it
Considering
is.
the history of it, and for a fucking mineral, I think that's super fucking cool. Like
Yeah,
it's just a fucking rock.
yeah, literally.
But all right.
Yeah, do you want to do the Lem statue next?
Yeah, can you talk about that one? Because I know little about that one for real.
Yeah, so the Lem statue is just this like it's this just this statue that has no particular shape. It's literally, or maybe it is supposed to be a certain shape that I just don't know what it is, but it's literally just some random shape. I don't even know why someone like made it look the way it does. But everyone who's had it, the people who owned it didn't necessarily like die or anything. But tragedy basically fell upon their family and like everyone surrounding them, their friends, their family. So the people who own it are basically giving bad luck to everyone around them. I don't know if it was bad, well, in turn is bad luck for them too. But technically it seems like it's only the people around them and not them in particular, which is arguably like worse. And it was owned by like I think 4 different families. Uh, so almost all of them in all the families died, like every single person except the people who owned it, I think. And I mean, some of the people who owned it probably died too, but I didn't hear about them dying. Mostly the people around them and their family. But the last person who owned it put it in the museum behind glass and all that. So, and I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that last person also had a lot of people die in their family, but they they got rid of it, and I believe it like stopped once they got rid of the statue. Is what I was reading. So this stupid looking
So
thing just
it
is
hasn't
like,
hurt anyone since it's been basically captured.
yeah. I think after it was put in the museum, people literally stopped dying and having tragedies happen and shit.
Which it's kind of weird too, because I believe when the Hope Diamond was put in a museum, I don't think anyone befell anything either.
Yeah, it's like you could, you can say that's just, oh, that's a coincidence or whatever, but I mean, I feel like it's obvious that it had some impact. Like, skeptics will say like, well, that stuff would have happened to those people anyway. So, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty hard to say that.
This next one, there is actually a lot of people that it affected, and nobody died. So the story is somewhat well known and like told from a few different people with stuff that's similar that's happening. So it's like actual experiences that are slightly different between, like I think it was like 3 or 4 different families. But so the story goes, there was a yard sale from a Jewish family who the grandmother, I believe she was around World War II and like living like in Poland or something. So she had to deal with surviving the Holocaust and all those horrible, unspeakable things. And she was passing away, and her family just had like an estate sale, I guess, for a little extra money, and they sold basically a wine box to someone. And I think it was an antique dealer that bought it. They just saw this wine box, and it was super old European, basically chest. And I think he got it, brought it home, and just like everything felt slightly off because of it.
It's just a wine box.
Yeah. So people.
What is?
Slightly,
did you say what it was called?
It's called a Dybbuk box. I was kind of like getting to it, but yeah,
Okay.
It's called a Dybbuk box. I guess he got home and then ended up opening it and finding, I think, like a candle, maybe an old card or something. Like it was a couple of random items in there. And
That's
if you don't know
weird.
if you don't know what a dip, so basically he thought it was this wine box. Ended up having a bunch of weird stuff happening. Sold it on eBay, I think. And a different buyer bought it, or it might have been Craigslist. It was one of the two. And then another family bought it, and basically had a bunch of weird stuff happen too. And eventually, I guess someone found out what it was, and it was a Dybbuk box, which a Dybbuk is, in Judaism, it's basically like a tormented spirit, or like a kind of like a violent spirit. So basically, what they were unleashing was essentially like a vengeful spirit, you could say.
Jeez.
Or some people would say like something like a demon, pretty much, like unleashing a demon on your house.
Oh God.
And
was it just like paranormal happenings, or like misfortune, or
yeah,
like what
I
was
mean
happening?
both. It was a lot of different things. Maybe we could put a link to the story for this. I know I've heard it maybe in like 3 different iterations. One of them I read somewhere, and then one of them was Mr. Ballin actually did a video on it, and then there was another channel that just does like paranormal stuff, and they talked about it too. It's somewhat well known, I would say.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that one.
Yeah, and it was passed along to 3 or 4 families. So I would say, there's actually like a fair amount of, eyewitness testimony saying, yeah, we experienced this thing, and it was like tearing our house apart, like fucking with our heads, just like stuff like that. So,
jeez,
most cursed items, like we talked about the Hope Diamond, we talked about the STEM statues. You basically just come into contact with it, and then misfortune beholds you. It's not even necessarily like something kills you. You literally just like catch a cold, and then the cold turns into like an infection, and all of a sudden you're dead.
Yeah.
Like it like does the shit slick, you know? It's like
A lot of people who've had these like cursed items and stuff, not specifically these on the list, but like other cursed items I've heard of, a lot of people say they have weird dreams. One of the paintings on this list that we'll get to later is one of those items where like the people who own them say like, yeah, I've been having dreams of like the man in the painting and stuff like that. And like see, other paranormal stuff too, stuff like that, which is like absolutely no thank you.
yeah, I definitely think that kind of weird.
The idea of something like messing with your head, because like, yeah, paranormal things happening around your house or whatever that's pretty bad too, right? But stuff directly trying to get into your head and make you like, making you have dreams and like you seeing stuff like that's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean that's psychological horror. And you know what? Honestly, I could say this. I'd be willing to bet something like the statues or the Hope Diamond, like that, it makes you feel uneasy, like, and it probably does, like, it, creep into your subconscious. Because I think that's kind of what that is. It literally just like creeps into your subconscious. So
What, like the fact that it's like cursed? You think that?
yeah, or just like
Yeah.
that's just kind of the effect of it. It just creeps into your subconscious.
Yeah, I
And
think that makes a lot of sense.
fucking bleeds you dry. And I mean, if you think about it, say if you're something that feeds off of negativity, you're probably gonna want to break someone and then just kind of coast off of like breaking their spirit, because what's more negative than someone who just like is numb to everything? Like, if
Yeah.
you can cause that, you're basically just like draining the life from them pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense that it would like just kind of creep up on you, because people buy cursed items. They're just like, this isn't cursed. I just like to I'm just a collector, and I don't believe any of this is cursed. I just like weird items. But in the back of your mind, you're probably gonna have at least a small part of your mind thinking, what if it is real? Like, what if this is actually cursed? Whether it would probably be not at the forefront of your mind. It's probably just like a passing thought, like, what if this is real? And that would probably just get worse and worse over time. And if something happens, like if something starts happening around your house, that's gonna be even stronger, an even stronger thought at that point. Because you'll be like, I don't know. This wasn't happening before I got this cursed thing. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you wouldn't even necessarily know that like it's cursed.
yeah, unless you're like, you got it off of like
Unless you're
eBay.
searching for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're searching for something cursed, yeah, but otherwise, no, you would never, you probably wouldn't know that something was cursed. Most of the time, people don't know that this stuff is cursed, but sometimes they do, and they get it anyway.
Yeah, so the Bassano vase, this one's pretty short, but basically it's this vase that every time people are around it, someone dies, pretty much. Like, it'll go into someone's possession, and then people in their family will die, and then I'm pretty sure the owner's usually alright.
So it's
could
kind of
be
like
wrong,
the
but
Lem statue,
Yeah,
where it just kind of
basically
affects
people
their
just die.
family.
Yeah, I could be wrong. It might be the opposite. The owners just continuously die, but I feel like it was a fair amount of people usually die. So, and it was one family, like I think someone died, and then like the rest of the family was like, get this, give it to the police, and we're like, take this thing away from us.
Yeah.
Or like someone got hurt. I mean, it just like would be full misfortune. Because I think when it was made, someone literally cursed it and said, "May death come to whoever owns this base."
Oh, damn.
And I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that's the story. I could be slightly fucking wrong. I really don't know.
I mean, that probably is what it is. It's kind of like placing a hex on something like that.
Yeah.
Hex
Like,
on something or someone. I think it works
Yeah.
on objects, I believe.
Yeah, I would think it probably does.
And that's pretty scary, because, like, you know, you get that thing. I mean, imagine the people, like, is that, like, in a museum now or something?
I'm not sure exactly where it is.
Well, I was gonna say, like, the people who put it in the museum in the glass box and stuff, I bet those people don't even want to touch it. Like, if they know what it is. If they don't know what it is, that's different. But if they know what it is, I wouldn't want to go near that thing.
I agree with you. I mean, it seems like just what benefit would you have going near that fucking thing? Like,
Why take the chance? Why take the risk? Just don't. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Like, dude, I'd lose my job over that. I don't even care. Like, I'm not going near that thing. It's like, oh,
yeah, I
put
mean,
this
what?
cursed vase that'll possibly kill your family in this box in the museum. And I'd be like, no. And if you don't like that answer, I will gladly lose my job over that. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, what's there to gain in dying a horrible death?
Yeah, or the people you know dying a horrible death.
Yeah, for just touching something. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, like, fuck that, dude.
I agree. I agree with you on that. That's just like,
Do you think these, like, do you think the second you come in contact with it, you're just cursed, or do you think it's like an overtime thing, like that just gets worse as time goes on? I mean, I guess it could vary object to
yeah,
object, but
yeah. I think that's probably they're all is different. I guess it depends on the energy that was placed upon the thing.
yeah. I mean, I doubt it's just like the very second you come in contact, you're just absolutely screwed. That probably isn't like how it works, but who knows?
I mean, that would suck, but if that's how it is, I can see that being like that. The thing is
Yeah.
basically it's like, yep, if you come across me walking down the street, you're probably fucked there, bud.
Yeah. Thank
Like,
God
that's
that we
all it is.
have we have technology to just look at pictures of this thing and of these things and just read about them without having to actually come in contact with them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is, I don't know, I feel like we regularly kind of go and look at that shit, yeah. I mean, the idea of it, like, existing is what bothers me just because if you do come across something and the case is you're basically fucked. How terrifying is that?
Yeah, that's horrible to think about.
Yeah, well, you can't control that. I mean, if you accidentally come across something, what are you gonna do? I mean,
Yeah,
just
I mean, if it
basically.
is just like an instant activation thing, then yeah, you're done, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about. Like, if you put it in that perspective.
Yeah, I actually don't know the story behind Robert. Like, all I know is like you need permission to take a picture of it, and you need I think you need permission to even like enter the room or something like that. And
Yeah,
if
I
it was
think that's
me,
right.
if it were me, I wouldn't even bother taking a picture of it.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's like yeah, I think it's basically like that. Like it was, I think, cursed by someone who made it, and then it was given to a little kid. And I
Wow.
heard a story that the little kid was like a famous poet,
Hmm.
but I could be wrong. But I feel like I heard it was like a famous poet. It's who the
Okay.
which that would be pretty cool. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like that'd be a pretty good reason as to why your poetry or something would be like interesting because I mean
Yeah. So
you
if you didn't know, Robert the doll is if you take pictures of it without quote unquote permission, like you literally have to like ask the doll. Obviously, the doll's not going to respond, right? But if you just ask, that's enough to get you permission to take a picture. And what happens if you don't ask and you just take the picture, not only will the pictures a lot of the time come out like the pictures will glitch out or they just won't come out right sometimes. Apparently, I don't know how true that is, but apparently that's how it is. And apparently you'll also get like just general misfortune on you by trying to take a picture and not asking first, which is like, I don't know why you would even bother taking a picture at that point.
Yeah. Well, all you got to do is say, "I'm sorry, Robert." You know, that's all you have to say, from what I know. So I mean, like, hey.
What, like
things won't
if you get cursed or like if you don't ask?
Well, yeah. If you didn't ask, that's all you have to say. And then all you have to say is, "Can I please?" So I mean, if you're someone who's like, "Oh, this is like ridiculous," I mean, would you really want to take the risk of
Yeah, right.
of that? And I mean, if anything, if you want respect, you're supposed to give respect. So like, why wouldn't you just show a little bit of respect, even if it's like an object? That doesn't mean that like you just go and break stuff just because. Like, you're supposed to show respect of
Yeah, right. I mean,
items.
even if you don't believe something, it's like you said, it's a matter of respect. So even if you're a skeptic or whatever, it's like, do you want to? I mean, yeah, you could just not abide by any of the rules, but you run the risk of getting cursed. So it's up to you if you want to take that risk, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of just like, I mean, just have basic decency and you probably be all right.
Yeah. I mean, and what if you do get cursed? Then it's like, damn, well, my dumbass should have just asked for permission when I had the chance. Now I'm cursed.
Yeah, and there's a couple things that are kind of like that. I know he's a pretty well known like thing because he's in a museum too, and I mean, there's accounts of like seeing the doll at windows of the house and then it like moving, stuff like that. Which I don't know. It'd be interesting if they had a 24 live feed camera pointed at that display case.
Yeah, the doll does move, doesn't it? At times.
I'm not sure.
I thought I heard that it moved, but maybe I'm thinking of Annabelle.
Yeah, which is another one that we'll talk about. So I mean, that is a pretty well known one, especially since they made a whole movie franchise about it. I mean, I think most people probably have heard of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, do you want to talk about that then?
Yeah, we can do Annabelle. So, you probably are familiar with Annabelle if you're listening to this, but if you're not, basically it like, I guess just like everything else on the list, weird stuff would happen, but also they would have like physical like wounds on them, like in the morning and stuff like that. Sometimes not like anything crazy, but like small cuts and stuff like that. And also the doll would be in different places at different times when no one supposedly moved it and like stuff like that. The movie is like way exaggerated, like to my knowledge. It's like, but of course it's gonna be exaggerated because it's a movie. So, but in real life, yeah,
Yeah, I don't
it did
think it
do
was
some of that.
anything like the movie.
Yeah, it definitely was not. And it also the movie also made the doll look a lot like scary. Honestly, I think the original one, like, their objective was to make the doll look scarier. Obviously, I honestly think the original one looks scarier. It just
Yeah,
has
because
these
it
like
looked.
these dead, bland, blank eyes. Like the expression on it is just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's creepier than the
yeah. For
movie.
anyone who's not seen the original one, it's a Raggedy Ann doll, which is like I don't know if they were a popular doll back in the day. I think.
It's a big doll too. Like it's like, I don't know. It's like 2 or 3 feet tall, I think. Maybe 2 feet tall. It's like kind of big for a doll, at least.
Yeah, that's one of those things that's in a museum as well, and it even has like a "this is in here for your own safety," I think, label on it, or has like a label on it.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I have never seen the movies, so I just know that the movies are nothing like, the actual thing.
There's a few movies. I think there's like 2 or 3 maybe, but uh, I think I've seen one of them, and I honestly like don't remember it like almost at all. It was so long ago, like I don't even remember anything from it really. I just remember hearing that they weren't good. How many is there? Let me see. Yeah, there's 3 of them. One of them was 2019, apparently.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple things that didn't make the list that I kind of want to like just briefly talk about because it goes along with a lot of media and stuff. Like it's usually ventriloquist dummies, or like seen kind of in a lot of movies that are like about like the past 2 things that we talked about.
Yeah.
Like yeah, there's been so many ventriloquist dummies, and I think there has been some cursed ventriloquist dummies.
Yeah,
but we didn't look any up.
Isn't what's it called? Letta the gypsy doll. Isn't that a ventriloquist dummy? At least it looked like one, kind of.
You know what? I don't know if that was. Are we talking about that one?
It's on the list. I don't know. I saw pictures of it. It looks like a
Yep.
ventriloquist doll, but I don't know if it actually is. I believe the only one to our knowledge, the only thing on this list that managed to make like its own media, like movie or show or whatever, was Annabelle, I think.
Yeah, I just to preface this, I typed in gypsy doll in Google, and then I got the weirdest Google search I've ever seen in my entire life. The weirdest results. I've never seen like the pictures actually pop up in the regular search like that.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
You have?
But yeah, like pictures pop up in the normal search results. Yeah.
Like that many? Did you search it and see how many? I mean, it's pretty much the whole page.
Really? Huh. Let me look. What did you type in exactly?
Gypsy dolls.
Oh god, these are so creepy. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah, they said, I think it's just all, but it said that it is seen to move, which is pretty scary, and it's in Australia, and it was found in an abandoned building in the 1970s.
That's like, that's a creepy backstory. It was in an abandoned building. What is that? That's like creepy to begin
Yeah,
with.
it's kind of, when I looked at that, it was basically like most of them just have to do with like moving around, and I think that just goes with the uncanny valley, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I
sure.
think that's what scares us the most, is just the uncanny valley. Because, like, if a light just, like, starts moving, you're like, I mean, that's really scary because the lights don't move, but it's like, it's a light. But if something that looks like it shouldn't be moving at all is moving, you're just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Letta, the gypsy doll, has human hair, supposedly, and it's like 200 years old, apparently.
Yeah, that's definitely, like, I don't know. Most of these things, like, I don't know. Some of them date back to being really old. Some of them aren't. I mean, in Europe, I feel like it's more of a thing where they kind of make dolls and make things like that because it's less industrialized. As far as like you look at things like Sweden, there's a lot of people that still live out in the country and kind of don't really care about extra stuff.
Yeah.
So, and then what was the last one? Elmo.
Yeah. So this is a quick one, but there was an Elmo doll that this lady bought for her son, and I don't know what it's supposed to say to begin with. But this one was saying her son's name was James. It was saying kill James like over and over again, and she switched the batteries out and everything, and it was still saying that. So, and yeah, that's basically the whole story. And the kid just kept trying to get the doll when they would take it away from him. I mean, that's normal child behavior, but he had like an obsession with this Elmo doll, like more than anything else previously, which I mean, you could say that's just normal child behavior, but that could also be like the doll was messing with his head. I don't know, but yeah. But in all reality, it was probably like some weird malfunction that made it sound like it was saying something similar to that to kill James. But who knows, really?
Honestly, it was probably like just a malfunctioning chip or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's with those talking toys. I mean, that's happened before. I don't think that one like necessarily has a name. Like, I mean, it's Elmo. It's an existing character, but like, it's not called like the great cursed Elmo doll or anything crazy like that. It's just some random Elmo doll. So
Yeah, and I don't know. Honestly, even stuff like that kind of creeps me out just because it's like a lovable character, and I just like toys that like have the voice boxes in them. It always feels weird.
yeah,
Maybe
I
it's like
think it's weird too.
I think it's weird that it's something that we like are so used to because of movies like Toy Story and stuff like that, where it like kind of made it not feel weird. But honestly, that's a really weird premise for that movie. If I think about it,
Yeah,
like with
it
with
actually
any
is.
like with any real thought,
Yeah,
and like it
for
doesn't
sure.
really explain it either. Like not at least not well.
Yeah, just toys coming to life when you're not looking at them. It's kind of creepy if you think about it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm
No,
probably
I
overthinking
think it's
it,
creepy.
but
No, I think it's kind of creepy too. So the next thing is paintings, which you'd be surprised how many paintings were on like kind of this topic. You know, like we didn't have to search that hard to find multiple paintings.
yeah, like there's like probably over 20 of these that are popular too. Like not just like any random paintings. So, but these are
Yeah,
probably the most prominent ones.
yeah. One of them dates back and goes to like England, and it's called The Crying Boy. And basically, it is this picture that there was houses that were burning down, and the only things the firemen were finding that were still intact were these paintings. And it basically spiraled out of control to where, like, I think the Sun, or it was a Sun like newspaper, made a piece about it and kind of said it was cursed. And then there was people giving it backstories, and then all of a sudden it literally just like got out of hand and had a bunch of rumors, and people were literally like freaking out, and like the newspaper was basically like building it up the whole time, and then they would like have a burning of all the copies of it, and like they would like have a thing say, hey, bring your crying boy paintings down, and we're gonna burn them all. And they kind of like just used it for publicity, and they basically made it went viral before the internet. Is essentially what happened. It was literally like a viral creepypasta.
It's kind
So
of insane.
it's kind of like literal folklore from like our time. Like it's
Yeah.
just something that captivated everyone, and everyone truthfully believed. And then a bunch of stories came out to where like you you know, there were so many stories that you couldn't even find the original artist, and then there was so many rumors about the original artist when they did kind of find the original artist, and then like no one knew who he actually was because of all the stories, and some of them were even tame, but they made them kind of weird. So it's like a lot of them felt like plausible,
Yeah, right.
which yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I think like visually, like look wise, this is the least like threatening looking picture out of the the paintings on this list.
I
Cause
would agree with you.
it's just a crying boy, but like, yeah, apparently, people's houses burned down. That's the only thing that was left. Which, like, I'm sure someone will be like, you know, I'm sure there's some science behind it, like maybe because it was the type of paint or something like that, maybe the frame or something. I don't know, but who knows, really.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird how that works.
But yeah, I guess we'll do the Englishman, or I mean, we can do any of them. I guess we'll just do the Englishman. This one supposedly was painted with the guy who made its blood, and then shortly after he made the painting, he killed himself. So I think it's believed that he is the one haunting the painting, and maybe his blood being on the painting, kind of like helps with that. Like, maybe it was easier to take the painting as a host because he was technically a part of the painting or something like that, something going on there like that. But basically, everyone who's owned the painting, which isn't many people, I don't think, but everyone who has owned it, has just had weird paranormal stuff happen, and apparently they've seen the man in the painting, in their dreams, and apparently they've seen the man in the painting in just straight up in their like house and stuff like that, like out the corner of their eyes and dark, dark hallways and stuff like that, creepy shit like that. So it's basically just like a classic like ghost haunting type thing with this one.
Yeah, how does that work? Like, so no one actually gets hurt because of it. Really, it just kind of like mentally messes you up. And
Yeah,
like,
to my
mentally
knowledge,
haunts
no
you.
one's gotten hurt. It just makes things happen, like, like doors slamming and like the picture itself falling off the wall multiple times, and then just people, seeing it and seeing the person in their dreams and stuff. Like that's I wouldn't say it's as bad as, the other items on this list where everyone in your family like dies, but like that's still pretty bad if it's like getting in your head like that. I hate that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's almost worse always feeling like you have to have your guard up, and then it never doing anything except just like menacingly, kind of like there's a couple.
Like watching you almost.
Yeah, there's a couple of SCP Foundation things where it's just like it always follows you around, but it never actually does anything to you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of more terrifying.
Yeah, it
than,
kind of is, honestly.
Because like, can you ever really trust that it would never do anything? And
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
almost like, I mean, you would always be tense just knowing that it's there.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, it doesn't even have to be like a menacing thing. It's just like its presence would.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Which is
be
like
kind of worrisome.
you'd be on edge all the time in your home, which is like, and the thing is, if you didn't see the man in the painting and it was just random stuff happening, it's possible that you wouldn't even know it was the painting. But because you're literally seeing the person in the painting, there's no mistaking it. Like it's
Yeah,
like,
and
yeah, it is the
that
painting.
that has been used for horror a lot. I mean, just stuff like movie It with
Oh yeah, the painting lady, right?
yeah. I mean, that was
That
like
was
one of the scarier parts.
Yeah, she's so creepy looking. Like, it's definitely like some uncanny valley type shit with that. Really creepy. 'Cause I think we've all seen paintings in real life, not like on the internet, that were just creepy looking to us. Where if they were to come to life, like in it would be like the most horrifying thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, uh, The next one, it's kind of like that. It's called The Hands Resist Us, and it was actually, I think, sold on eBay. And basically, the guy who painted it has talked about it too, and basically saying how like it's probably I think it's tied for the creepiest looking thing on this list. Besides,
Yeah.
I think the Anguished Man and this one kind of are neck and neck on just how uncanny and just creepy it looks.
Yeah.
And like how worrisome it is, because it's just a little kid with kind of like a big head in front of like a screen door, like a glass screen door, and you see hands like pushing up against the screen with like a doll right next to him, and you know, like,
it's so off-putting.
yeah. And I think he even said it was basically how he felt as a kid, and like felt like he was super sensitive to stuff, and I was kind of like, it makes you uneasy, like, for the fact
for
that
sure.
someone say, yep, this thing is like cursed. I would not even question for a second. I'd be like, yeah, it sure is.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not.
Yeah. I mean, the thing looks cursed. All the different hands behind him and the doll, which I don't even see why the doll needs to be there. I feel like this would be a perfectly fine picture if the doll wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's out of place. Like, why is it there? Why isn't it just the boy with the hands behind him? Like, I feel like that was a thing that he added, like, last minute or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he said that it represented like the veil between dimensions, pretty much. And I mean, it makes sense with kind of how it is and how it works, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and basically, people have said that they've seen stuff crawling out of the picture, like the characters crawling out of the frame at night.
Oh my
and,
god.
Kind of moving, and I mean, if that were the case, yeah, I don't know why you would want that in your house. I don't know who would. I mean, I don't know how you'd be able to sell something like that on eBay. You know, I would think that'd be against their user guidelines.
I mean, people. It should be against their guidelines now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't. I don't know if it actually like is.
Yeah, that's weird. I feel like it would be like.
Cause I mean, you see people selling allegedly haunted stuff all the time on eBay, so I don't think it's like goes against any guidelines. I feel like it definitely should though. I feel like if you're putting up an item that's like this is cursed, bad luck will fall upon you. Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to do that, honestly.
Could you pull up the listing, search it on search the name of the painting on eBay, and like pull up the listing, and then I think it would probably tell you what exactly like said on there.
Well, it's sold on eBay for $1,025, and the seller pleaded buyers and viewers to be cautious, avoid showing it to children due to reports of extreme reactions such as sudden violent illness, screaming, and the sensation of being gripped by an unseen entity.
Yeah, I mean, I am pretty surprised that was able to be sold on there. And did it say what the author's name is? And like, was the author the one who sold it?
It doesn't say. No, it says it's an anonymous seller, so I don't think it was the author or the artist.
I thought I saw like where the artist like kind of talked about it, but I could be wrong. I don't remember.
No, yeah, he did. He did talk about it. I remember hearing about that myself. Yeah. So.
Think about this. Think about like you draw something and all of a sudden it just takes the life of its own off.
Yeah, that's like.
Does that idea bother you at all?
That does kind of bother me, yeah. Dude, they set up the motion triggered cameras with up to the painting, and like it shows, like, I don't know how to explain it. The pictures show where the movement is, and the movement is on the painting, the doll's arm and the doll's face, that's creepy as hell. I hate that.
Yeah, how does that even work?
I don't know actually. I actually don't know how that technology like works. I'll show you though.
I mean, how eerie is that?
Yeah, that is like I hate that so much. So those pictures I just sent you are from daytime, the picture at daytime to nighttime, I believe. And the middle picture is like earlier in the night, and then the other picture's later in the night, so it moves more like as more time went on, which is like that's just so creepy. What the fuck?
Yeah, it almost looks like the hands were gone, were out of the picture too.
Yeah, like it literally looks like the face changed.
Yeah, I think that was because of the because like the effect that they put of the thing.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't know.
that's true.
I mean, it's still, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the only thing that I heard of where like something just kind of randomly moves. Like that's not something you hear every day.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it's a painting.
imagine being the artist of something and then you like make something and all of a sudden it starts really popping off the page. You'd be like,
Yeah,
what?
like what have I done? Oh man, all horror artists out there, you better watch out.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of something scary to think about. It goes along with something that we're going to talk about in the future with Tulpa. Like, if
Yeah,
you're putting all your
that creeps
energy
me
into
out too.
making something and you're thinking about something and you're basically, it's like, you know, what if people like who make cartoon characters or make characters like, say you were the person that made like a Spider-Man or something, all you think about is Spider-Man all day. All you do is spend time thinking of stories, drawing it, like stuff like that. You know, that would just eventually kind of like manifest. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a really creepy thing to think about. I guess the human mind's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you go off of like different belief systems. I mean, how crazy is that to think? You know, you make your own reality. It just, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is Lucid Rain. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't buy cursed items on eBay. Actually, don't buy cursed items anywhere for that matter. And we'll see you guys next time.